اوضاع حساس کنونی و تضعیف فزاینده حکومت آخوندی مسئولیت سنگینی متوجه یکایی که ما می‌کند. بی تردید رژیم حاکم در برابر مقاومت و قیام ملت ما و ارتش بزرگ آزادی دوام نمی آورد.
My brothers and sisters, welcome to this great rally. You know we are dealing with a criminal regime. Call on the European Union and the British Embassy. They should close every Iranian embassy in Europe, identifying the fact that the MOS are threatening people who oppose the regime in Scotland. The message to all of them is wake up! Stop this crazy appeasement policy. Stop this policy of appeasement of this evil regime. We support the Iranian people who have taken to the streets. We send a message to them here today that we stand shoulder to shoulder with these brave people who they are aided and abetted by the courageous people in the units of the MEK, and we stand shoulder to shoulder with them because our objective is to restore freedom, restore democracy, restore justice, and get rid of this tyrannical theocratic regime.
Eh bien, quand vous voyez les chiffres, 120 000.
As you see the number, 120,000 people assassinated since 1981, 30,000 political executions in 1988. When it comes to pure political assassination and execution, even if it's not a genocide, all the government around the world must assure the prosecution of the perpetrators of this crime. So all the perpetrators, political or religious authorities of the Iranian regime, the authorities of 120,000 executions must be tried for their crimes, and I continue to hope that this day comes at last.
Je continue à croire qu'un jour la justice se fera.
Ce qui est immoral, finalement, ce n'est pas de s'opposer au régime iranien. Ce n'est pas ce qui est dangereux.
What is finally immoral is not opposing the Iranian regime. This is not dangerous. What is dangerous is that since we are afraid of possible repercussions and the Iranian regime's propaganda do not valorize our rights, and finally, due to fear, forget who we are. We are human rights defenders, here and around the globe. Now it is our duty to urge the European institutes from Brussels, the heart of Europe, and say to our leaders that we don't want a nuclear deal. We do not want to deal with the corrupted reformists of the Iranian regime. Today, we're going to march to pave the way for a free Iran.
Et aujourd'hui, nous allons tous marcher tout droit pour ouvrir la voie vers la liberté de l'Iran.
Some people in Europe pretend that there is no alternative to the mullahs. They pretend that the possibility of regime change is doubtful. That is absolutely wrong. It's not doubtful. There is a viable alternative, and it is the National Council of Resistance of Iran. Here I want to emphasize the fact that all the criteria needed for an alternative, the social base, organization, leadership, plan and program, all of these are in the National Council of Resistance and in the plans of Mrs. Rajavi. To counter this alternative, to counter the alternative represented by Mrs. Rajavi, the regime tries to befool the air with fake or cyber alternatives, with fake news. which sell a totally wrong idea about the real wishes of the Iranian population. European institutions and the European government must list as terrorist entities the Iranian Ministry of Intelligence, MOIS. They must expel all the Iranian diplomat terrorists.
Here in Belgium, we are clear that the human rights must be the top priority. Recently, 140 Belgian Member of Parliament from different assemblies and political parties issued a joint statement in favor of democracy and human rights in Iran. We have firmly insisted upon this fact that our relation with Iran must be conditioned to the amelioration of human and women's rights situation.
We call on expulsion of all Iranian terrorist diplomats from European soil. We also demand that the Iranian Revolutionary Guards, as well as Iranian Intelligence Ministry, be put on European terrorist blacklists. This is a minimum requirement for our safety and security in Europe.
The theocratic dictatorship is doing everything possible to eliminate its main opposition, especially those who are now in Ashraf 3. Terrorist plots have been exposed in the last couple of years. Several Iranian terrorists, including diplomats, are now in jail in Belgium and are waiting for justice. The regime is also recruiting all its agents to carry out a massive misinformation and demonization campaign against the Iranian democratic opposition.
Vous êtes ici pour dire à l'Europe, c'est pour ça que nous sommes là, pour dire à l'Europe, à la Commission européenne.
We are here today to tell Europe, the European Union, the European Commission, the European Council, and the Europe's High Representative of Foreign Relations, Mrs. Mogherini, that Europe must respect its principles and support the people of Iran in their resistance and a struggle against the mullah's dictatorship.
نحن في سوريا مع الثورة الإيرانية مع المقاومة الإيرانية ضد هذا النظام الفاشي الديني. يجب إسقاط هذا النظام. ما لم يسقط نظام طهران سوف لا تستقر هذه المنطقة بحال من الأحوال. قبل مجيء هذا النظام الفاشي الديني كانت المنطقة كلها باستقرار. بعد مجيء هذا النظام عمل خلايا في كل المنطقة من أجل تصدير الثورة، ما يسمى تصدير ثورتهم إلى الخارج، ومن أجل السيطرة على المنطقة. وبالتالي هم الذين اخترعوا الإرهاب في المنطقة، هم الذين اخترعوا داعش وغير داعش.
به اتحادیه اروپا میگوییم خواست مردم ایران برای سرنگونی این رژیم و دستیابی به آزادی را به رسمیت بشناسد. این لازمه صلح و آرامش در منطقه و در جهان است.
پیمودن این مسیر برای پایان دادن به استبداد مذهبی حاکم بر ایران تنها و تنها به عهده مردم ایران و مقاومت سازمان یافته آنان است. این مسیر به طور کامل و قاطع با جنگ و مماشات مرزبندی دارد.
ما بار دیگر از جامعه جهانی می‌خواهیم با رد هر گونه مماشات با این رژیم ضد بشری مقاومت مشروع و انقلابی مردم ایران را به رسمیت شناخته تا موجب تسریع سرنگونی رژیم آخوندی از جانب مردم و مقاومت ایران گردد.
در حالی که رژیم ضد بشری آخوندی در فاز نهایی خودش به سر میبره، در حالی که در استیصال و در بنبست کامل رو به حرکات دیوانه‌واری مانند انفجار کشتی‌ها و موشک پرانی میکنه، ما با قدم‌های استوار و محکم، با اراده آهنین و پولادین قدم برمی‌داریم برای کارزار بزرگ سرنگونی.